Okay, so welcome to this video, which is going to be the build for our Spirit of Durthu. Now, it's a reasonably large miniature, but the biggest bugbear is that there's lots of bits that need to be glued together. So we're gonna approach this like a couple of stages at a time, I think, and then I'll obviously stop the video and do the next bit. But first of all, we have this hip piece, groin hip piece, and the first thing we're going to glue onto that is just some crest ridges at the back. So I'm going to go on there, and then you're going to pop on this leafy loincloth thing. So far, because obviously I've done a bit of a dry fit, the parts seem to go in really well, and you know that they're in position so far. We're then coming in with this hip, and again this will go in one way. Oh, and the leafy loincloth doesn't want to stay on. Do you know what? I'm going to swap back to plastic weld. I prefer it so much. Right, and then let's just pop this one in as well. Again, this, you know, there's one position that it goes into. And that's it. Right, come on in, let's put these back on. Like so. So that's the hips and upper thighs, or upper legs being the thighs, and then we are coming in with this piece to build. Now this is one of the legs, and it will only go one way. Like thus. Then we have the foot. Now this is a bit of a strange take to give it heels, but hey, each to their own, I suppose. And then this goes in there, like that. So and then this piece, which looks like a knee joint, and just orientate this round the right way to make sure it goes in Okay. Like thus. So that's one leg. That looks like it's going to be the right leg, the right lower leg. And then obviously when you're ready, that will go into there. Right. I have cheated a little bit. Off camera, I've made up the second lower leg. The reason for this is that it is essentially the same procedure. You get the front and back half of the shin and calf, the knee joint, and then the two bits for the foot. What I am going to do though is I'm now going to come in and I'm just going to glue in this piece to here. So far, I haven't come across any major issues like typos. Some of the instructions that have been in the magazines have included the odd error, and that's been a bit confusing to say the least. Right, so this leg then joins here, and this leg has a slight bend in it for this joint. Now I have done something different. There's a small piece of scenery that is supposed to go onto the oval base. I have decided I don't want that on the oval base, and I've glued a rock to it. I will show you in just a sec. So this is the piece of scenery, which I kind of feel might be a little bit out of place in a forest scene. So I've just glued a rock in place, and I'm kind of hoping that once this lower torso part has gone off, we'll happily glue into position. He said. Now, next bit we have this, which is right, so that goes there, and then that joins on there by the look of it. Yeah, that I think is the position for it. Just in there. Like so. And it's the same with the other side. So this is going to go in there by the look of it. that. So you will need to just jiggle this around to find the right fit. Now, these bits join together, and from what I can tell is this is going to be the neck and shoulders. So those bits join together like so. You're then supposed to have this glue to it. Now, let's just have a look. Okay. Right, so this is going to be this single glue point just there. Like that, and that is going to be a bit fragile until you glue this into place. And I think the best way to do this is this way round. So you have the back of that there, and then there you go. Marry up your parts so that they slide into position nicely, and then add your glue. I think that's the best way forward, marrying that up in that way, like so. Now, we then have a neck piece, which is this, which goes in there. Okay. And then this is the waist bit, I suppose, the lower part of the torso. So let's just see, that has to go that way round, and it's not the best. I think it's going to marry up like so. So that there's a little overhang. Oops. That's it. Right, there you go. Oop, go back. That's there you go, like so. Right. Now, let's see if we can get something approximating a good position. Do you know what? I'm happy with that. That'll do. So, be still. What I need to do is some super glue on the bottom of the foot. Like so, and then I'm going to leave that to go off. Okay, next it's the shoulders and arms, and then the head. Right, come back in a sec. Arms and shoulders. Right, so we're going to be gluing these to the torso, the upper torso, and then once that's done, gluing it to the legs and hips. So, looking at this, this appears to be something that will go into the shoulder. So this is the shoulder and upper arm, bicep. And then we have this. Now, I'm just trying to figure out which way round this goes. It might be easier to determine that like so. Right, so I'm going to recommend gluing it into the forearm. Glue it into the forearm, and then it's the right way round for the bicep upper arm, like so. So that's going to be the sword arm. Just leave that there to go off, and then we're coming into the other arm. Now what I'm going to actually do is start off with gluing these to the knuckles, and you have so this short one here these should just go into, there's some slots around the knuckle area, and they should just slot in. And then the final one. Just be careful when you come to paint these, because they're going to be a little bit fragile, because there isn't much actually gluing these in place. There we go. I hate fiddly little things like that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to glue this together, and that goes into there, like so. And then we have this, which is the elbow joint. That goes in, and then the forearm. Like so. And then the reason why I did the hand first was to give it a little bit of time to go off. There's still going to be a good 12 to 24 hours before the glue is properly set, but you're less likely to push it out of position. I'm just going to let that go off before I do anything else with it. So the next bit we have is the head. Now again, just going back over what I said previously about it being quite fragile, yeah, I have broken a bit. Thankfully it doesn't notice. So we have this piece goes in like so. This is the back of the head, and the back of the head has this bit that covers it. And then there's a mask that goes on the front like so. So that's your the front of the face. So let's glue that together. Right, and there's your head. So this is what you're left with. Now I'm actually going to glue this torso into the body because I don't want to faff around with it while it's got arms that are setting. So so that's where we are at the moment. Now, next piece to go in is this arm. And yeah, it will only sit one way. So that's his arm there. Then we've got this arm. And again, this is only going to sit in one way. So once you've found it, just give that a little bit of time to go off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the head, which goes on like thus. Do you know what? I'm liking this. It's a nice dynamic pose. And then finally, this goes in there. And the hat, the sword, comes across the body slightly. And there you go. That is your Spirit of Durthu. I made a slight change. I've glued the spirit to some rocks, added an extra rock to the base. I think that'd be more in keeping with a forestry floor. And that's how you put them together. Right, I've now got to think of a colour scheme. Alright, take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.